Welcome to the Vacation Races and Friends podcast, a podcast about events, travel, and the people who love both. Find more episodes at vacationraces.com. Welcome back. We are talking Grand Circle Trailfest, day number 3. This is kind of the closing ceremonies of the Grand Circle Trailfest, and it will be Saturday, and we are headed to Horseshoe Bend in the Lake Powell area. This one's going to knock your socks off. We say that Bryce is absolutely gorgeous. We all love Zion, but there is something special about Horseshoe Bend, especially this course, and we're going to talk all about it. First up, though, what is our theme for day number 3? Well, just horsing around on Horseshoe Bend. That's what it is. So it's country western theme. Dress up with western wear like plaid, bandanas, straw hats. Keep it really simple. You can go buy $1 bandana, and that's going to be good for us. If you want to level it up, though, this is my favorite. Dress as your favorite farm animal. And I expect to see some serious farm animalage out there. I don't think that is a word. Animalage. Don't think it is. We've got Dane Craig and Anna Basso with us. They are the race directors for our Grand Circle Trailfest. And like we've done in the other 2 episodes, we are going to just jump right into this course and talk about Horseshoe Bend. Anna, this course is special because not many people get to experience what they're going to experience on day number 3 at Grand Circle Trailfest.
We have special permission from the local Navajo landowners to be running on this course. So yes, you can go visit Horseshoe Bend. You pay a fee, you go to this parking lot, you walk up to it, and you go down to this viewpoint, and it's beautiful, it's spectacular, it's stunning. There's these safeguards of fences, everything around, but you get a totally different viewpoint and vantage point of Horseshoe Bend. It's the same Horseshoe Bend, but we're just south of that viewpoint and tourism area. And so you are literally running on the edge, obviously not as close to the edge that you're endangering yourself, but you get this unrestricted view of Horseshoe Bend and the surrounding area, and it is truly special.
Dane, tell us exactly what Horseshoe Bend is. Some people are like, why do you keep saying Horseshoe Bend? What the heck is Horseshoe Bend?
Yeah, if you're on Instagram, you've seen somebody post a picture of Horseshoe Bend. Horseshoe, but when I was a young man and I first saw Horseshoe Bend, I was more awestruck by it than when I first saw the Grand Canyon.
I would agree.
There's something about it. For those of you that don't know, so just north of Horseshoe Bend is Lake Powell, which was Glen Canyon before they built the Glen Canyon Dam and turned it into a giant reservoir known as Lake Powell. And the Colorado River cuts through Glen Canyon, and then as it exits the dam, it makes its way south down towards Marble Canyon and into the Grand Canyon. So when you're looking at Horseshoe Bend, you're really looking at the start. It feels like the start of the Grand Canyon. Like everything downriver from there is just carving its way through the Colorado Plateau and just about to open up into this massive Grand Canyon. And so Horseshoe Bend, it's named Horseshoe Bend because the way the Colorado River bends at that area, it's shaped like a horseshoe. And so there's a big, you're standing looking over the river and across at the Colorado Plateau on the other side, which is, cut by the river and shaped like this horseshoe. So really beautiful, breathtaking overlook. I think it was so inspiring to me because you see the Grand Canyon, it's so big and it's hard for me to really wrap my head around it. But Horseshoe Bend is just such this focused, isolated section of the river and a testament to like what nature does over thousands and millions of years, that it's something I could more process and wrap my head around. So really, really beautiful. And we're going to get to run right alongside the rim overlooking it. And it's awesome.
Yeah, I ran this section of the course in the Antelope Canyon Ultra that we have. This is part of the Antelope Canyon Ultra. And we took so many pictures on this part because the views are just absolutely incredible. I mean, I think it's about a 1,500 foot drop from the edge of the cliff that you're on down to the river. And it's just a sheer drop, like Dane said, where that river has just carved out this horseshoe. Almost, it's not quite 360 degrees, but it's almost like the river went all the way around and eroded that rock. And like I said, it's going to be spectacular. And that's only part of the course. So Anna, once you get through Horseshoe Bend, we have another surprise for you on the other end.
surprise, you get to go through Waterholes Canyon, which both of these things, typically you would need to hire a tour guide to be able to see this stuff. You get this all to yourself. Well, you and all your fellow 700-ish runners, but you're going to have a great experience in Waterholes Canyon. This is actually one of my favorite parts of this trail. I ran through this section, and it is just a cool, if you've never heard or seen of a slot canyon, also, same as what Dane says, go to Instagram and look up Waterholes Canyon or any other slot canyon in Arizona, Antelope Canyon. You're going to be in it and you're going to be running in it. So there could be a couple small little steps, some ladders, things like that. Nothing terribly difficult to ascend to, but you get to run through this slot canyon that was carved out by rivers.
It's pretty magical. It's pretty magical. I will say the terrain is a little bit different on this. There is slick rock, but it's a little bit different than the slick rock that you encountered in Zion. It kind of has a different edge to it. It's a little more crumbly. It's a little bit different. There's also some sandy portions. And when we say sandy, we're talking beach sand. We're talking, it can be a little bit deep on the backside there. So are you going to get sand in your shoes? Absolutely 100%. You are going to get sand in your shoes and you're going to love every minute of it. You're going to stop, dump the sand out and keep on going. Because people are always like, how do I keep the sand on my shoes? You can't. I don't care what gaiter you have on. It just doesn't work. Just have a great pair of shoes and know that you're going to have to dump your socks and your shoes out maybe a couple of times on this. But it's so worth it because but for all that sand and that sandstone in this terrain, we would not have Horseshoe Bend and we would not have Waterholes Slot Canyon to go through. So part of that is the terrain, but you get to run through all of it, and it's going to be great. What's our mileage on this day?
This one's about 10.6 miles, just shy of 11 miles. But given the terrain, it will take some time because it's a mixture of that hard sandstone, those thin layers of almost like a fin, these layers of sandstone
that's a good
rocks.
way. That's a good way to put it, is a fin. Yep.
Like stacked sliced bread that's fallen over. That's what I always picture when I'm looking at these formations.
Yeah. And
then you're going through thicker sand and then you're ascending. There's not a whole lot of climbing compared to the other days, but you'll feel it. Climbing out, you're going the reverse direction of the slot canyon. Obviously, all that water is running toward Horseshoe Bend. You're going to be running up the canyon. So you'll feel it a little bit, plus the added deep sand. So take some time, dump the sand out of your shoes, get back up and keep going.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Of course, you'll have one aid station out there on the course, just like you have had in previous days. Nerding out on data, perfecting the optimal training and nutrition plan, aiming for progression in PRs. Sound like you? Well, Gnarly Nutrition can relate. Featuring a full line of honest sports nutrition products, Gnarly provides the best nutrition possible for all types of mountain athletes. Because they offer great tasting and reputable products, Vacation Races trust Gnarly to be the on-course hydration sponsor. With the low-calorie, high-electrolyte Gnarly Hydrate for shorter races and the calorie, electrolyte, and amino acid-filled Gnarly Fuel 2.0 for longer races. Gnarly is here, taking the bonking out of your big day. Use code VACATION15 during checkout at GoGnarly.com for 15% off. And let's kind of go back to the beginning because we kind of have some special circumstances here where, of course, we've got our grab and go breakfast, 5 a.m., and then we've got shuttles, or if you're going to be driving your vehicle over there, we have a little over an hour drive to get to the start line, but it's going to be a little bit different. And Dane, can you kind of speak to the differences that we're going to see? You know, Anna mentioned that we were on tribal lands at this point, and so we have some different restrictions, especially with COVID-19, as we are allowed to be on these lands.
Yeah, we do. So logistically, day 3 is a bit of a doozy. Let me explain why. We ran this course specifically in 2019, and we were planning on it for 2020. I don't know if any of you guys remember, 2020 was a weird year.
Oh, was it?
There's a few things that happened.
I didn't recall.
It probably didn't affect you too much, Colleen, with your line of work, but
no, not at all. Didn't even notice.
Anyway, with COVID and 2020, the reservation was just closed. The Navajo reservation was hit especially hard during the pandemic. Last year, we didn't run this course. We ran the Page Rim Trail, which is a beautiful trail, but kind of pales in comparison to Horseshoe Bend and Waterhole Slot Canyon. So we are thrilled to return to this course this year, but we've had to do some logistical finagling to make it work. And Anna and I have gone back and forth on it a lot. And we think that all the logistical adjustments we've had to make and that the runners, are going to have to make are worth it for the course. Right now, there's an executive health order on the Navajo reservation that restricts gathering sizes of people. The way that we adjusted our operation plan in order to be compliant is to stagger the start with small groups. We're going to start one shuttle at a time. Similar to Bryce, we're going to have a designated parking area, and then runners are going to hop on a short shuttle ride, less than 10 minutes from the parking area to the start line. So we're only going to be able to start one shuttle at a time. So we'll start one shuttle, and once they're all across the start line, timing mats and on their way, then we'll unload the next shuttle and get them ready and start them, and so on and so forth. And we'll just repeat that until we have all of our runners started, which could take, in fact, we're planning on it taking over 3 hours to do that. In order to facilitate that, and also so that runners aren't parking at 6 a.m. and then waiting for 2 hours to ride a shuttle, what we did was we have grouped runners based off of when they registered. If you look in the race guide, there's a very detailed schedule for, depending on which group you're in, what time you should park, and what time you'll probably load a shuttle, and about what time you will start your race, give or take 15 minutes, right? Because we've got these groups and then shuttles. So depending on which of the shuttles in that group you load, it could be more or less time. We're just going to be out there all day for you guys, getting everybody started. So it's kind of a good news, bad news. Obviously, we don't know everybody's circumstances. Some people are like, great, we get to sleep in an extra hour and a half on day 3. Some people might be sweating it because they were hoping to take off right after the finish line, day 3. We realize your circumstances vary. We think that for most participants, the schedule is going to work, and it's just going to be a longer day than they were expecting. There could be a few exceptions that, have a flight out of Vegas at 2:00, which shame on you for scheduling a flight so soon after Trailfest. The party's not even over yet, and you guys are trying to bug out. But we realize that could be the situation that you're in. So barring an extreme situation like that, we're asking everyone to stick to that assigned group and that schedule. So again, all the details for this are in the race guide. The basic idea of it is that we've broken it into 10 groups, and those 10 groups have different park times, shuttle times, and start times. And so we're just going to be starting small groups all morning, and then finishing. It's just going to be a trickle all morning, and then you'll hop on shuttles and head back to the parking as you finish. So that's kind of how that's going to go. Is there anything?
How do I know my assignment for that wave? Like, how am I going to get that assignment? How do I know, like, when I should get on the shuttle?
Yeah, we will email it out, and it's also going to be printed on your bib. So the groups, those assignments will be color coded. There's going to be our VR race shield with the group letter printed on your bib.
Okay, so that will make it really easy to identify, because you use the same bib for every single day of Trailfest. My other question was, if I'm on one of those later shuttles, is breakfast still at 5 a.m.? Is breakfast going to be extended that day? How is that going to work?
Yeah, we'll leave breakfast open for longer that day.
Okay, great. So you won't make me get up at 5 a.m. to get my nice warm oatmeal if I don't have to get on a shuttle till a little bit later.
Right.
Okay, great. Yeah. I love that. Okay, so yes, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to kind of be more of a slow roll for this Horseshoe Bend, but it's so worth it. I mean, we could change. We could change the course and we could make it something different, but it wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't. And we did that last year. And again, it was great. And we told everybody last year, this is a plan B, but it's a wonderful course. And I stand by that. But
yeah,
if given the option to run this course, but having to make certain sacrifices, I'd do it 10 out of 10 times. Like it's worth it. It's, I think, the experience that we want our runners to have. And I think it's worth any inconvenience. We make a note of this in the race guide, and we'll communicate it at the event also. But when you go to Page, Arizona, it's actually a different time zone. So when you go there, your phones might switch back an hour and everything, but all of our race times and the schedule and all the times published in the race guide and all the times that we're going to operate off of are Utah time.
So we're going to
in a race guide,
pretend.
it'll say that the first start is 7 a.m., but when you get to the start line, it's going to say 6 a.m. So
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
We're just going to pretend that we're not changing time zones, basically, is what you're saying, right? Okay. So we're just not even going to worry about that. You can even set your phone and watches and things to not change time zones when we get there, so that it wouldn't be confusing to you on that. So I don't think it's going to be too bad. I mean, we're going to know our assignments. We're going to get out there. We're going to get started as soon as we get there. It's going to be the same kind of start. Gear drop will be available. We'll have some bananas and, some water available at the start line. We'll get everybody out there. Have a great day running. And
normally at the start line is where we would have all the toilets and gear check and bananas and hot chocolate and coffee and things like that. We're going to move all of that to the parking area. So all of our toilets will be at the parking area. If you need hot chocolate or coffee, you'll pick, you'll hold on to your gear check bags. Sorry. But toilets and hot chocolate coffee will all be at the parking area. And then you'll hop on a shuttle. And so once you're on the shuttle, it's kind of like you're in the queue to the start line.
I see. So there's not going to be a lot of get off the shuttle and go to the bathroom, go grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah, we'll have a bathroom or two there, obviously, in case of an emergency. But it's not like, okay, now I'm at the start line, I can stretch and warm up. It's kind of like,
you're ready to
start
go.
line and let's get you out there. You're ready to go. Yeah. So that's the one thing worth mentioning. The second thing is because of the elongated start, some of our later runners are going to be out in just kind of the middle of the day, in the heat of the day. And that's something we can't really get around. We tried to group people based off of when they registered, because then people traveling together are most likely to be in the same group. So it unintentionally punishes, so to speak, those who registered later, because now they're in a later group. They're going to be running later in the day. It's just kind of an unavoidable setback
situation
to us adjusting things the way we did. We will have the one aid station about halfway through, like we normally do. It's going to be right before you drop down into Waterhole Slot Canyon, and it'll be well stocked. But as runners climb up and out of water holes, we're going to have another, just a water only station. We'll have one of our water monsters parked out there full of water. So if you need to restock, because it will be warmer at that point in the day. And if you're in one of those later groups, just plan accordingly. Make sure you're running with the hat. You've got something to keep the sun off of your face and off your neck, and even maybe bring a little bit of a cooling rag so that you can get it damp at the aid station and wrap it around your head or around your neck, things like that, just to try and stay off the heat.
Yeah, really good suggestions. And we'll just pray for clouds and mild temperatures. How about that? We'll just hope that we get some great weather.
We'll just hope that our Trailfest runners are living right.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys better be. You only got a couple of weeks, so you better really, really make a change so we can have some good weather. But we'll hope for that, and we'll do our very best to make it as enjoyable of a situation as possible. And if you have any questions about the logistics, just ask us. We're going to have 2 prior days here at Trailfest that if you do have any questions on the logistics, we'll get them all straightened out for you. But it'll be worth it. The pictures will be worth it, and you're really going to enjoy it.
For over 40 years, Nathan has provided best-in-class running essentials designed to help runners enhance and improve their performance mile after mile and year after year. From our hydration vests and handhelds to our safety gear and apparel, Nathan products deliver on what matters most to you: intuitive design, comfort, quality, and smart storage. Check us out at nathansports.com or follow at nathansports Inc. on Instagram.
We will be coming back to the HQ, Festival HQ, a little bit later, maybe some of us in that day, but we still will have other activities going on that start pretty early. I mean, we've got our recovery and medical tents and things open at 2:00. We've got some yoga. And then even starting at 3:30, Anna, we've got some other activities going on. So what does the afternoon look like back at the festival?
When you get back to the festival, beginning at 3:30, we've got Heather Larson there. She is I would call her a slackline pro. She's probably too humble to call herself that, but she is an experienced slackliner, and she's going to be doing a demo for us, letting you get a chance to try it out too. At 4:30,
super cool. I have to say.
I know. Okay, sorry, back up. That really is cool.
We got to back up. If you don't know what slacklining is, It's really something that a lot of times climbers do, and it's like a technique, a training activity, and they take a line that they run between two trees or 2 points, and that line is pulled taut, and they balance on that line with their feet, and they can do all sorts of tricks and jumps, and it's phenomenal. People who are good at it make it look so easy, and then you try to even get on it, and you find yourself flat on your back, and you're like, "What happened?" It's gonna be cool.
Case in point, I went to this gym here locally in Southern Utah. It's like an American Ninja Warrior type gym. I took my niece there. This is a quick detour, I promise. But there was this short little section that was essentially a slack line. And I was like, oh, cool. I've never actually tried this. And it was so hard. I was having a competition with my niece to see how far we could get, just direction on it. And it was bad. I give props to those slackliners who really have the balance and coordination for it, let alone just to walk, but to do all the tricks they can do.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they can like bounce up and down. It's almost like not trapeze, but tightrope walking in a way. And so it's really cool. So I'm excited. This is new this year to have Heather out there and doing that. So that's great. And then 4:30, Dane, what do we have on tap there?
4:30, we're really lucky to have Sunny Strohr. She's going to come. She's actually a Kanab local. Her and her husband moved there not too long ago, and they operate an outdoor adventure company. They're the owners of Dreamland Safari Tours. But Sunny herself is actually a very accomplished, I don't know if there's a word to describe her. She's a very accomplished adventurer.
Yeah.
Like a very accomplished ultra and trail runner. She has like FKTs for all kinds of different traverses and crosses of places that I can't pronounce all around the world, in Nepal and China. And she's got a lot of really amazing stories. And she's also just a generally very positive person, a real passion for life and adventure. And so she's just going to be sharing some of her experiences and kind of relating it to us and our lives and our outlook on lives and kind of how we're all making it through
and
our own unique set of challenges and things like that, and how her experiences have the lessons that they've taught her.
Yeah, she is great. I've heard her speak. Maybe it's just because she's as tall as I am, but I really like Sunny. She's just great. She has great stories. You're really going to enjoy her. So,
are you tall, Colleen? I don't think you've ever mentioned that.
No, not tall. You know what's funny is people who have never met me, but they've just heard my voice must sound short, because people always say to me, "Wow, you're a lot taller." They'll see me maybe on a virtual expo or something for one of our vacation races thing. They're like, "You're a lot taller than I thought you were." I'm like, yeah, I'm a giant. So just. You'll see it you'll know me when you see me. I'll stand out. But if I'm next to Sunny, we'll both look like giants. So that's good. So she's going to be great. We're excited to have her back again. So dinner, though, let's talk about dinner. I'm always one for wanting to know what's on the menu for dinner. Dinner starts at 5:00, of course. Beer garden opens as well. We got barbecue barbacoa beef sandwiches with scalloped potatoes. I love scalloped potatoes. Can I just drop that? Love them. Hamburger buns, cowboy beans, corn on the cob. This sounds like a party. I mean, that's our last night, so everybody's going to go to town with that. Our vegetarian option is going to be a garden burger that night. So big thanks to Houston's.
There's no regard for how you're going to feel the next day.
No.
On Saturday night. Like, there's no concern for how's this gonna set. Like, you just go ham. You guys do whatever.
That's why we have the cowboy beans on Saturday, because nobody would eat them on Thursday or Friday. They'd be like, I'm not eating the beans. No beans for me. But Saturday night, everybody's about the beans. It's all good to go. It's all good. And it's going to be a fun night. Saturday's a fun night because we're wrapping some things up. We really encourage you to stay around. Of course, we hope that you go and see things like Lake Powell and things like that, and the Pariah area. It's a beautiful drive just going from Kanab to Lake Powell. But please come back. Sometimes people like to duck out early, like Dane was saying before. But we encourage you to stay, because this is a really fun night to kind of wrap things up and put an exclamation point on our entire event here at Trailfest. And so we will be doing our awards for day 3 and also our overall awards for the entire Trailfest. So we'll do that. And we have our highlight video, because we're going to have our videographers who are going to be on every single course, every single day with you. And they're going to compile this highlight reel And that is always something super fun to watch. I'm always most excited to see that highlight video. And then, of course, we've got some live music going to be that night. Have some more of our Trail Running Film Festival, screening some of those as well. But it's just going to be a good night, and everybody can just...
Yeah, our band Stray Local, they're ultra and trail runners too. So I think they're going to come run with us. And then Saturday night, they're going to play.
Oh, that's awesome. I like them even more now. The fact that they're like, hey, I'm going to come run with you guys, and then we'll play you some awesome music. That's great. That's great. Well, good. It should be a fun night to celebrate. What's fueling your race? Is nature powering your run? Nature's Sunshine puts the power of nature into your hands with world-class herbs and supplements, protein powders, and active nutrition formulas designed to keep you healthy for the long haul. With nearly 50 years of expertise and an impeccable reputation for excellence in the natural health industry, we're proud to partner with Vacation Races to offer you 15% off your order. Just use promo code NSPVR at checkout. That's NSPVR. Live better, climb higher, dream bigger, dig deeper, and power your game with the power of nature at naturesunshine.com. Logistics is going to be a little bit different on this Saturday, but it's going to be an amazing course. And so if you'll just be a little bit patient with us, and if you do have any questions, just reach out and we'll make sure to take care of you, because we want this to be just the best, because that's what Grand Circle Trail Fest is. Of course, we'll have more giveaways. We'll have more games. Don't forget our theme, which is that horsing around, a country western kind of a theme. So plaid bandanas and straw hats. We're also looking for those trail heroes, people who are doing extraordinary things out on the trails, people that you meet that you think that we should highlight, things that they are doing. Maybe they're picking up trash. Maybe they're picking up runners. Maybe they're making sure somebody has a ride to the parking lot when they didn't have one, or they're sharing something from their pack. We want to hear these trail hero stories, and you can submit all of those to us throughout the entire event at Grand Circle Trail Fest at our Instagram, our Trailfest Instagram. So make sure you're on Trailfest Instagram. Send us a message that way to submit those trail heroes, and it will be good to go. We've got Race Joy, our tracking app, and our audio tour guide will be available for this Horseshoe Bend area. I'm excited to get that all created for you. We'll get some fun facts and details about this area, and that will be on Race Joy. Spark Challenges app will be available. It's the Lake Powell Explorer, Dane, is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Lake Powell Explorer for the Spark Challenges app for this one. Yeah, just all good stuff. And then we'll wrap everything up. And as we're talking about wrapping up, I always hate to talk about checkout and things like that. But Anna, on Sunday, what is our checkout procedure? We have to let these people go eventually.
Yeah, hate to break the bad news, but eventually the party has to end. But you'll be well rested by then. You'll have plenty of mileage under your feet, and you'll be ready to go back home and tell all your grand adventure stories to those that weren't able to come with you. But so Sunday is the official checkout. Noon is the checkout time. You're welcome to leave anytime before then, but noon is our official checkout time. We will have some breakfast items still there for you. We will have, anything left over from the event, but we'll still have everything that we normally do, like fresh fruit, oatmeal, muffins, water, tea, coffee, things like that. We'll ask that you clean up everything from your tent that you brought with you. We are going to have an area. We typically do this every year. If you've got some larger camp related items that aren't heavily soiled, aren't broken, anything like that, if you want to donate those, we have a way to make use of that. So say you bought a cot just for Trailfest, you bought it on your way to the event, and you have no intention of bringing it home and it's in perfectly working order, go ahead and bring that down to the lower area where we had the expo set up, and you can just donate that if you don't want to take it back with you. But please take care of all of your trash and belongings and things like that as you exit. But we do have a team of people that helps collapse down the tents and everything as soon as all of our participants take off.
When you use the term heavily soiled, I kind of went, ew. Heavily soiled.
Like if you took a nap directly after the race, you're super sweaty and it's kind of gross. Like if you wouldn't want to receive it from a friend, maybe it's not best to donate it. We'll say that.
Heavily soiled. That and the word moist, I believe Anna has just termed as the worst words to use in a podcast, and we just use them both. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that
check.
For our checkout procedure. It is heavily soiled and moist. That's how you're going to leave Grand Circle Trail Fest. Oh my goodness. But you're going to leave there with a smile on your face. That's for sure. And so are we. We're all going to be tired and worn out, but with big, heavy hearts, because it's going to be all filled up with all of the awesome stuff that we got to experience together for those 3 days. So, all right, as we're wrapping this up, we got anything else for these people other than sending them off to finish training and then come and see us in Southern Utah?
Travel safe. We can't wait to see you guys.
Absolutely. We'll definitely be there for you. If they have any questions, though, in the interim, Dane, can they reach out to you, to Anna? What's the best way to get answers to questions?
Yeah, either of us. So Dane, DEHN at vacationraces.com, or Anna, ANNA at vacationraces.com, or even Kaylee.
We love
Just
Kaylee.
info at vacationraces.com.
Okay, so easy to remember. Any one of those will get you your answers. And like we said, we'll take good care of you at the Grand Circle Trail Fest 2021 edition. Can't wait to see you guys in Kanab, Utah. You've been listening to the Vacation Races and Friends podcast. We'd love your feedback. Email podcast@vacationraces.com with comments, concerns, or stories you'd love to share. Make sure to watch for more episodes coming soon to vacationraces.com. This episode was produced by Colleen Rue in the Festival Sound Studio. For information about music licensing, contact Dane at vacationraces.com.